Hello, Mr. Silva. I hope you're having a wonderful time on your cruise. I hope you and Jeannie are getting some well-deserved R&R, and I hope you're just having a great time. Happy Easter, and God bless you. I wanted to send this video to inform you that Mr. Alberto and I had a conversation on Saturday, and I wanted to let you know how that conversation went. It is the end of the month. I was reviewing the statistics for the first quarter of the year, and my main goal for having this conversation with Mr. Alberto was simply to explain the bottom line, our results, and where the strengths and weaknesses are in our team. As I do with all of my students and my staff, I practice PCP, praise, correct, praise. There are some very valuable elements to his employment, and I wanted to make sure that he knew I was appreciative of those things. So I explained to him how appreciative that I was to have him for the assistance in the birthday parties. He does a great job at collecting the personal analysis as people come in with the flow of traffic and inviting the kids on. Our birthday parties really run smooth because of our teamwork. Ultimately, people come back because they, one, have enjoyed the party, and two, the biggest reason is because they see a value in our martial arts lessons, and they see that through the instruction on the floor. And obviously I'm the one who runs the birthday party, so they come back because the bottom line is not because of Alberto, it's because they enjoyed me. But Alberto helps me with the flow of the birthday party, so I let him know how appreciative I was for that. He also does a great job for our parents' night outs, and I was really appreciative that he was the guest instructor, or he taught classes while I was away for the weekend, for the training weekend in Colombia. So I let him know, again, I expressed how appreciative I was to have him there and to have my back. If it wasn't for him, I would have had to have closed the school. So he does provide an element of customer service, and our students, I'm sure, appreciated that. On the other hand, there are some challenges that I just can't get over with Mr. Alberto. One is that he leaves early. I'm looking back at the attendance report, and on Tuesdays, he only works for 3 hours, supposed to work for 3 hours. He clocks in at 4:30, and he's supposed to leave at 7:30. That's 3 hours of work. He leaves at 7 o'clock, 7:10, 7:15. I'll ask April, I'll say, "Where's Alberto?" And she'll say, "He's left for the evening," said he's done. One, if I were to leave my job without being successful, I'd be very afraid. I'd be very nervous. And two, if I were to leave early without completing the job, that takes a lot of brass to do that. And I don't know too many employees that would leave early and not tell their supervisor or the manager or their boss and not have some kind of discipline or some kind of disciplinary action take place. Another challenge I have with Alberto is the lack of scheduling appointments. This month, he's only scheduled 3 appointments. He's worked 16 days, he's worked 60 hours, and he's only scheduled 3 appointments. Of those 3 appointments, 2 people canceled and 1 has rescheduled. So for the month of March, I've got 0 results from his employment when it comes to the priority of his employment. And then I've had some issues with him being too social with the parents. Instead of him taking initiative and being aggressive with the marketing and making things happen, when he does not have leads, he tends to just have conversations and talk to the parents. Just for the sake of knowledge, I timed him, and I watched him talk to one of the parents for 30 minutes outside of the front door, just talking to the parents for 30 minutes, and then he left early that night. I don't have much patience for that. We have a very tight ship we have to run. There's only 3 of us, myself, April, and him, to accomplish the mission, and we don't have time for people to just have casual conversations with our parents. I mean, that's not what I pay him for. He gets paid $15 an hour for a part-time position, which is quite a good pay. I mean, I don't know of many places here in Boca where you can get a part-time job with those kind of benefit or that kind of pay on top of the benefits. I mean, he gets sick days, he gets personal days, and every single month he has missed at least one day. He's made an effort to make sure that he takes at least one day off every single month. So there is some question that I have in regards to his work ethic as well. So when I began to explain some of the challenges I have with Mr. Alberto, he became very defensive, and then he started to play the blame game. He was not accountable for his actions, and he began to tell me that everything he has offered, all of the ideas that he has offered, I have shot down and prevented him from doing. There has only been one thing that I told him we're not going to do, and that is direct mail or neighborhood flyering. Now, I've not said that he personally cannot go out and do neighborhood flyering. I just told him that I think that we would have better results and we would have a stronger connection with our prospects and our potential future students if we have one-on-one communication with them. I mean, it's just proven that you have a better chance at scheduling an appointment and then the conversion for them to even come to your school if you have that one-on-one appointment. Those power appointments are the strongest appointments, period. I mean, we can't argue that. So for him to spend 3 hours in putting out door hangers in a neighborhood where he might get 100 out, I think we would get better results if he set a promotional booth in front of our school and aggressively made sure he talked to every single person that walked by. Unfortunately, that doesn't always happen. I've got to tell him to do that. I tried to use the positive route, and when he did take initiative and do that one time, I went out of my way to make sure that I totally praised him. I said, Mr. Alberto, I'm so happy that you took the initiative to take the booth out there and set it up without me even telling you. I can't tell you how proud I am of that action and how thankful I am for you to show that initiative. Unfortunately, that did not work with Mr. Alberto. He hasn't set up a promotional booth outside of our business since then. As a matter of fact, from his direct efforts, he's never set up a promotional booth. He currently has all of the lead boxes in his garage. I've never told him he cannot go out and set out lead boxes or rack cards. I'm sorry, not lead boxes, but rack cards. There's no reason why we shouldn't have 75, 100 of those out now. I've never told him that he can't do it. As of right now, they're sitting in his garage. He's got all of them there. I think he's got 100 or 150 of them there. He's got the entire supply of the rack cards, those cases, in his garage, just sitting there. There's no excuse why those aren't out. I've never told him that he cannot network with the local businesses. There's no reason why he can't go around to every single business in our shopping center and all of the ones within our target market. Mission Bay, Crossroads, all of these, the reserves, all these plazas that are within our target market. There's no reason why him being one of the marketing directors to get those kind of things done. He's got nothing but excuses. And then he wants to say that I am hindering him from accomplishing his job, which makes absolutely no sense. It's very clear that he has a lack of respect for me. Or he is just way too comfortable. He's a rock star instructor. He comes in when he wants to. He leaves when he wants to. And he wants to sit back and collect a check, and that's simply not going to happen. Once I started explaining these things to him, he became very defensive, and then he lost his cool with me. He lost his professionalism, and he raised his voice and he started yelling at me. You know, I'm a very cool, calm, and collective person, and I have a lot of patience. And I've been thinking about this for 24 hours, and this really, really bothers me. I basically told him that coming in for a couple hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays is not working for me. You know, he asked me if he can leave early on Thursdays for an event at church. I even gave him permission. I said it was okay. Originally we worked 4:30 to 7:30. Now I gave him the permission to leave on Thursday 45 minutes early. I said that, sure, you can go to your church function. You can leave here at 6:30 and you can be involved in your church. If that's important to you, I want you to know that I care about your status here, and I care about your well-being, and I want you to feel appreciated, and I will allow you to leave early on Thursday so that you can partake in a church function. I was fine with that. If he did his job, if he was consistently scheduling appointments, but that's not working. And I really believe that he is taking my kindness for a weakness, and I'm just not cool with that. You know, it seems like I've got to be an asshole. I've got to be, you know, babysitting him on top of him and just boss. I got to be a boss and boss him around. Boss, in order for anything to get done. And then when I give him corrective criticism, he's got absolutely no tact to him. He cannot be accountable for his actions. He can't understand where I'm going with this, and he becomes defensive and argumentative. And I can't have that. I'm very uncomfortable with this right now. I told him, I basically simplified his job, and I said, look, because your biggest help has been on Fridays and Saturdays, I just need you to come in on Friday and Saturday. He got really mad. He got really mad, and then he said, you know, you're preventing me from doing my job. I'm going to be less effective. And then he went on to say that I'll try to get those 2 appointments. It's his overall attitude. It's his overall attitude that I have the biggest problem with. I don't need somebody that's going to try. I need somebody that has the I can attitude. I can and I will. That's what I need. I mean, and then he went on to say that he hasn't scheduled appointments because he doesn't have leads. Well, if he doesn't have leads, he's got to get leads. I don't understand why I'm paying him $15 an hour if I've got to do the work to get him leads. I can hire a telemarketer and have them sit back there for minimum wage and make calls for 5 hours nonstop and get more results and not have to deal with his attitude. I mean, it doesn't make sense. If it's not making money, it doesn't make sense. And at this point, I'm very, very uncomfortable with working with him, to continue working with him. I mean, just for the simple fact that he had the audacity and the nerve to raise his voice at me and get loud with me. He thinks his shit don't stink. He thinks he's smarter than me. He had the audacity to say that if he did not offer the opportunity, if it wasn't for him bringing up the idea to do spring camp, that I wouldn't have done one. I mean, this kid doesn't realize I've been doing this my entire life. I've done hundreds of camps. The only thing I have to think about is whether or not I want to work from 7:30 in the morning until 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. I mean, that's a workload that I've got to choose to do. I can either do a camp and make extra money, or I can work harder and sign a few extra students up. The reason I did camp this month is because I had to. If I didn't do camp this month, then we may not have made that $15,000 break-even point. I just find it very challenging that even at $15,000, I'm still not earning my full pay. And even as you and I communicated, everyone needs to hold their own weight. And I was explaining to him that right now, this past month, this past 6 weeks, I really haven't been getting the results that I need from him. And he clearly thinks that I've got to do his job for him. look, today is Sunday. It's a holiday. It's Easter. But I worked. I was at Boomers. I scheduled a promotional booth. They had an Easter egg hunt there this morning. They had hundreds of kids. I had the demo team there. It was myself and the demo team who ran the booth. It was me who scheduled the booth. It was my efforts. I'm not going to come back to the school on Monday and wait for him to come in on Tuesday to make those calls. And he doesn't get paid just to make calls. I mean, he gets paid to help our team become successful. I guess he doesn't understand the concept of teamwork or being a team player. I'm really, really hot right now. I'm really upset at the way he communicated with me. I think that anybody who would leave work early, anybody who would call in without following the proper procedure, he took a personal day on Thursday. And he even knew that it was spring break. He even knew that I was here from morning to afternoon. He even volunteered to help me out during classes. Instead, he sends me an email telling me he's going to take a personal day. He doesn't ask me. He tells me. He says, Mr. Mack, I've got a conference at school this evening. I really want to go to it, so I'm taking a personal day today. I mean, he doesn't even have the common courtesy to ask, hey, Mr. Mack, I've got something going on this evening. Can I take a personal day? So, bottom line, just to wrap this up, we got into a heated conversation on Saturday. He said that I was disrespectful and that I was rude and I was out of line, but yet he was the one who lost his tact, his cool, and his professionalism, and he was the one who rose his voice at me. He was the one that began to shout and yell, and I just can't work with somebody like that. So I know you're on your vacation, and I hate to bring this negativity to you, but I just wanted you to be aware of the future, because right now I don't even know if I want him to come in anymore. I don't even know if I want to work with him. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to look at him the same way after he yelled at me the way he did on Saturday. And I don't know of any other manager that would tolerate their employees raising their voice at him. So he clearly doesn't know his place, and he clearly doesn't respect me. So I don't know if I can continue to work with him. So that's where I'm at. If there's any feedback or anything else you need from me, I'd be glad to give it to you. If you want to talk to Alberto and get his side of the story, that's fine. But the bottom line is that he's got nothing but excuses. We're not getting results. He's not holding his own weight. And instead of being solution-oriented, he wants to point the fingers, get mad, and fight. So I'm not cool with that. I want to move forward in a positive way. I want to get some team members in here that are going to be a part of East-West Karate in the long term. I know that he is going to school for manufacturing, and this is not his passion or his career field, so this is just a job to him. So it's not the most important thing to him, especially with the amount of days that he takes off and him leaving work early. Obviously, this is not his main priority. So it might be better if he just finds some other job for him to do until he works in his career field. And it might be better for us to hire a true instructor or somebody that I can train to where I can trust if I ever do go out of town for training seminars or events or really for anything, to have somebody that I can depend on, I can trust, and gets the job done well. So that's where I'm at. So don't let this get you down too much. I'm okay. I'm upbeat. Look, I'll work every single Sunday if I have to until this thing gets rolling. I mean, I won't take a day off. I won't do it. I'm going to make this happen. I mean, we're too close to making this happen. So I'm going to do whatever it takes, and I'm not going to have any dead weight, slowing us down. So if there's anything you need from me, you're more than welcome to call me or email me or anything you need to do. If not, no need to discuss this until you get done with your vacation. Have fun, enjoy yourself, and take plenty of pictures. Send me one. Thanks, sir. Have a great time. Bye.